I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham Ha Kwadash. Double honors unto our apostle elders, which rule Great Millstone Well, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, Wa Abba Babal. So this is Obadiah. It's only one chapter, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith Yahweh our power concerning Edom. Edom is the so-called white race, the red devil that rule the world today in wickedness. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle, which is his prophesying of the 6-day war, which is history. So as sure as that history took place, all right, you're going to face the judgment that is set. All right, it says in verse 15, it says, for the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Verse 16, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, the Israelites, so shall all the heathen drink continually, which you're going to go into slavery under us. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. That's why there's such a great judgment coming for Edom and even these other nations that are going to be enslaved under the Israelites. All right. Now it says in Obadiah 7th verse, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border, which they're going to betray each other. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, which you have the UN, and prevailed against thee. And they're going to help shoot missiles with the NATO and BRIC nations to shoot nuclear missiles on you. That's the judgment of the great whore according to biblical prophecy. They that eat thy bread, which you give them money, have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. What you're doing is revealing your horns, all right? Your own shame is falling upon your head by your own tongue. It says, shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom? Which they're losing the ability to understand things, and it's being given over to the Israelites for us to understand by the Holy Spirit, and understanding out of the mouth of Esau. Esau is the Edomites, the so-called white people. They come from Esau, and the mount of Esau is talking about the nation. It says, and thy mighty men, O T-men, which are the Germans, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. That's a prophecy judgment that is to take place when Yahushua returns, and this is why those nuclear missiles were created. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And that's why when you bring up slavery and different things that they've done to us in the past, they flee when no man pursueth. All right, now I'm going to just jump down to the part that pertains today in verse 13. It says, thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people, the Israelites, in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity. Now, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. So they've done this in the past, and they're doing it exactly like they do today. And that's why they're taking away your snap so that you snap. All right. They're trying to get you to snap. But the thing is, it's going to fall on their own head. Majority of the people on snap are Edomites, so-called Caucasians. All right. And the Lord's going to put his wrath upon these heathen, but you're going to have reprobate Israelites caught up in the judgment because they reject the truth here in America. All right. So now I'm going to just go to the cross-reference verses. Okay. And the one I wanted was Zechariah 1, verse 15. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. And they're at ease because they have us in slavery. For I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. This is why Edom is known as the man of sin, which he's also known as the son of perdition, because he set up a wicked kingdom and taught us to commit more sin. All right, and so the Lord's going to punish him to the point where he's going to extinct him, the Edomite. But these other nations, they're going to go into slavery as well, because they helped with the slavery of his people. And I'm going to go to Jeremiah 50 and 6. It says, my people, the Israelites, have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray, the leaderships. They have turned them away on the mountains, which we went into slavery, and we were scattered amongst the heathen. They have gone from mountain, from a great nation, to hill, which they broke us up. After King Solomon, the kingdom fell apart to two kingdoms, and then we were divided when we went into captivity. All right, but even the spirit, after King Solomon, you had the northern kingdom with the heathen trying to go against the southern kingdom. All right, which the northern kingdom went into slavery, and then the southern kingdom. All right, which we're sinners, and we've been exiled out of that land completely, all 12 tribes in 70 AD, when Judah, Benjamin, and Levi were chased out by the Roman Edomites. All right, and then ever since then, we've been scattered throughout the world completely, all right, and enslaved. And this is why you only had a period of 1,000 years known as 1,000 years of peace. And that was when the so-called white race were taken out of power, and it's called the Dark Ages. All right, and then you had the Renaissance, the rebirth of the so-called white race, and they're empowered today, and they're about to go into being enslaved and their kingdom being destroyed by nuclear missiles by their allies and enemies, the NATO nations, the UN nations, and the BRIC nations. It says they have gone from mountain to hill. They broke us up. They have forgotten their resting place. They never told us we were the Israelites. Instead, they put up some counterfeits in that land and created false religion. All that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against Yahweh, the habitation of justice, even Yahweh, the hope of their fathers. Right? So the heathen knew that if we sin, that they could take us, but if our power was with us, they can't overcome us. This is why great fear is hitting them while they see us stand upon our feet. All right. Now, let me see. I wanted to bring up this. In this verse, the verse is Obadiah verse 13, where it says that they should not have touched the substance of his people. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted. Text commentaries. All right. This is David Guzok study guide for Obadiah, and you can see it says judgment against Edom, Israel's brother, which is the so-called white race today, the red devil. All right, and they're that color because they're the descendants of Cain. All right, Cain came back as Esau, reincarnated, and he was born with lacking color of skin. All right, the melanin, because he was Cain that murdered his brother. All right, now Obadiah announces judgment against Edom and her pride, which you see their pride now, where they're touching the substance of the Israelites. They're partying the land. They're taking away the resources that we have in slavery, like food stamps, or even the stores, the employment. They're pretty much coming down with great wrath because they know that they have but a short time. But at the same time, it's referencing the past, what they did in the past. All right. And that's what I wanted to get, because it tells you right here. It says, in the days of King Jehoshaphat of Judah, remember the kingdom was divided, Edom joined with Moab and Ammon to attack Judah. But the Lord fought for Judah and defeated them. All right, and that's what's happening right now. All right. So it says, I just put number one owner of U.S. bonds. It says Japan. All right. UK, China. Let me go back to this here. To the David Gazuk study guide for Obadiah's judgment, dealing with the book of Obadiah. And he's going into the history. All right. And when you know the history, you know the mystery. All right. It says Edom, which UK is Edom. America came out of the UK. All right. Which was the reincarnation of Rome, joined with Moab, the Chinese, and Ammon, the Japanese, to attack Judah. Judah today are the so-called American Negro. All right. So they're doing the same thing. And what's it say? The Lord fought for Judah and defeated them. And the Lord's going to do this today. And he tells you how. All right. You're going to eat nuclear missiles. It says in Revelation 18 and it says, verse 17, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried, because they get rich on America's consumption, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city, aka America, Babylon the Great? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Allah's, Allah's, which is pretty much they're troubled, and great city, that great city wherein we are made rich, all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, hath avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea. The sea of people are going to be turned into a lake of fire when nuclear missiles rain upon this place, which are going to be shot off by its allies and enemies, saying, thus with violence shall that great city, Babylon, be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And this is the judgment of the great whore. All right. Revelation 17 and 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. I'm going to jump down to 16. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, the European Union kings, they hate the whore, and they're going to shoot missiles using NATO on Babylon the Great. These shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. All right, and they're gonna be doing this at the same time as Russia. The BRIC nations are also shooting missiles on this place. Revelation 13, verse 2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, starting with that Greek head, Alexander the Greek, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. Russia's going to help destroy this place and really lead the way, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, UK. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority, which they have this system created in the image of Rome. All right. And UK being the mouth of the lion, is they're looking for who they may devour. They're pushing forth a digital ID, which is going to lead to the implantable microchip, the mark of the beast, which is going to be made mandatory worldwide for buying and selling. And then this destruction will come, the great judgment of this great whore, Babylon the Great, who are to be destroyed in one day and in 1 hour, in vengeance of the Lord's elect, which they done horrible things unto us, and they intend to do horrible things unto us, and the Lord's going to avenge us. All right, starting with the tribe Judah. All right, the so-called American Negro. What did they do to the so-called American Negro in America? All right, and now what did they do to the so-called Latinos and Native American Indians? They have to pay for this. So shalom to the elect. Wa abba.